Jake Brend and Derek Duke break down everything you need to know throughout the Big 12. This is Bigger Than 12, presented by WealthCharter Retirement Planning and Tax. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Bigger Than 12 on Iowa Everywhere.
Whoa! I had no idea that was coming. We have an intro video.
We do. I liked it.
Look at that surprise by Aiden Wyatt. Way to keep that under wraps.
Well, I can't say that because I think Van Winks texted me last week about it.
Oh, well, thanks a lot, Van Winkle.
I forgot to share it with you, baby. Yeah, I know. He didn't tell anybody. I guess he just told me.
No, that's awesome. Good work
That's great.
I'm guessing Van Winkle and Aiden played a big part in that coming together. Probably Johnny Liebel as well, so good work to all involved. Usually I'd tell you that this is Bigger Than 12, but that sexy intro already did it. So welcome to the Channel Seed Studios. Following week 2 of the college football season, we've got a big day in store. Not all good.
Some good, some bad.
Similar to the stock market, you're going to have some good, some bad, and we're never going to be experts of it, but Tim Hawkins and his team at WealthCharter can be. They're your spot when you're looking to retire or looking into the future for retirement. They're going to put your money in a spot that works for you. Hit up Tim Hawkins and his team at WealthCharterRetirement.com. We appreciate Tim Hawkins and his company, WealthCharter Retirement Planning and Tax, being the presenting sponsor of Bigger Than 12 here in the Channel Seed Studios. I would love to recap Duke's time in Iowa or even just this past week for Iowa Everywhere. It's probably been the best week as a company.
Week. Yep.
But we have so much stuff to get to, and I'm not quite sure the people want an hour and 40 show. So I say we just get into the football. We're going to talk Arizona State's upset, K-State getting embarrassed, Iowa State surviving, Baylor bouncing back, KU choking, whatever happened to West Virginia, and maybe Mike Gundy's last hurrah. All of that, we'll pick games. We've got some Iowa trivia, random Big 12 quarterback. It is a loaded show, and we're going to go in that order. I think we've got to start with Arizona State, the defending Big 12 champs, falling at Mississippi State. They got down in this game 17-0, came back, took a 20-17 lead off of a 15-play, 95-yard drive that ended in a field goal. And Mississippi State scores a touchdown on third down. Arizona State sent the house, and Mississippi State, the last place team from the SEC team, or from the SEC conference, beats the reigning Big 12 champs. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Awful for the league.
Yeah, I don't really know where to start with Arizona State because all around, I think they just played poorly. Like, this is one of their worst games probably in the last year and a half or whatever it is under Kenny Dillingham. Like, offensively, Sam Leavitt probably had his worst game since early last season. You look at his stat line, 10 for 22, 82 yards, 2 interceptions. It's not often you see a stat line like that from him. The Sun Devils did actually have some success running the football with Raleek Brown and Udo, but the lack of a passing game is what did that offense in. Like, plus, and you can't expect, if you look at kind of the stat line as well, you can't go 3 for 14 on third down and turn the ball over twice and expect to win that game. And on the flip side, defensively, they weren't much better. I mean, you start the game by giving up that big play, then you kind of end the game by giving up another big play that kind of put the nail in the coffin for them. So very uncharacteristic for this defense, but both of those big plays were backbreaking. I think perhaps my biggest issue with Arizona State on Saturday night was not going for it on fourth down. Like, late in that game, tied at 17, Arizona State's inside the Mississippi State 1-yard line on a 4th and goal. And I really thought Kenny would go for it there, maybe try to sneak it in with Leavitt. And he opted to kick it and, go up by 3. So I felt like last year he would have tried to go up by 7 in that spot, but he didn't. So between the 8 penalties they had, the 2 turnovers, the lack of third down success, You can't win on the road like that. And I saw where it had been nearly 2 years since Mississippi State beat a Power 4 team, and it's unfortunate it came at the hands of Arizona State.
Let me play devil's advocate a little bit. So Mississippi State hadn't moved the ball all half. Arizona State, they're the better team. They didn't win the game, and that is all that matters. But I think you could clearly tell in the second half that, okay, Arizona State's rounding into form a little bit. They're going to win this game. And you'd think 3 points should be enough. That, who knows? Maybe Mississippi State can get into field goal range. We go to overtime. We think we're the better team. You never expect what happened there. And they had 3 chances before then to punch it in inside the, I believe it was the 3-yard line, and didn't. They weren't getting any push up front. So I'm not going to beat Arizona State up and Kenny Dillingham for just that decision alone, even though in hindsight it ended up being the wrong one. It's even, like you said, putting yourself in the position for that to matter. This is very uncharacteristic out of me, but when it comes to a game like this, I don't care about the context. I don't care how it went down, what happened. All I care about is what the national audience sees. And they see number 16 from the SEC beating number 1 from the Big 12. You can talk any X's and O's. You can make any excuse. You can come up with logical reasoning to why it happened. But at the end of the day, it can't happen. And it is a disaster for the Big 12.
Yeah, and it's sad because we both know that this conference doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, and they're not going to get it with a game like that. Like, yeah, you lose against Mississippi State. It was in Starkville, and I don't care what anybody says, it's a tough place to play with all the cowbells ringing, but still, for being the Big 12 reigning conference champion and being kind of the favorite to win it again this year with the team that they brought back, it's inexcusable to say the least.
It's crazy because if you look at 2 plays where Dillingham and the Sun Devils decided to send a 0 blitz, it was the eventual game-winning touchdown against Mississippi State and the game-winning touchdown against Texas in the college football playoff on 4th down. Those 2 plays have swung the pendulum of Big 12 perception, I think, more than any 2 plays from any other team in the rest of the conference. And not that them losing to Texas was a negative, but it could have been such a positive if they won that game. So it's kind of neutral, and then losing to Mississippi State swings it the other way. And it's going to be up to, I think right now, Iowa State, Utah, Texas Tech, TCU. I think that's kind of where the conference is putting their chips. A lot can change, obviously. It's only week 2, but
yeah,
you're really, really, really going to need those 4 to keep taking care of business.
I tweeted out on Saturday night that the Big 12 is running out of teams to try to carry this conference, and it just seems like we're 2 weeks into the season already, and like 3 or 4 or maybe even more of your contenders are kind of already gone just because of how the first 2 weeks have went. We're going to talk about Kansas State here in a minute, who was just embarrassed by Army, but its time is running out quickly. It's like, I always want to say that this offseason, not the offseason, the non-conference can't get out of here fast enough, because I'm just ready for conference play at this point, because this conference cannot afford any more upsets. Or it's already bad. It's been bad. It's been a rough 2 weeks just overall for the non-conference play. So we kind of need to move on to Big 12 play at this point.
Let's do it. Kansas State, oh my gosh.
Woof.
Loses to Army at home. I'm just going to jump into my Who Needs a Fix presented by Freedom Tire, locations scattered across central Iowa. 5 of them. Ames, Altoona, Des Moines, West Des Moines, Urbandale. I think I'm going to hit up Freedom Tire tomorrow, actually. I need an oil change. If you're making the trip to Jonesboro, Arkansas,
you'll need it.
You'll need it. Stop at your local Freedom Tire. You can get an oil change, your tires rotated, new tires, and they're also still doing their giveaway for 1 more month. Enter at iowaeverywhere.com for your chance to win a set of 4 tires. And if you win, you also get to donate to a charity of your choice. Again, iowaeverywhere.com to enter that giveaway. Kansas State is broken, and we've got to get to the bottom of it. Is it so much as you start the season against your rival in a foreign country, all the eyes are on you, you lose a game you think you probably had a good shot of winning, and the locker room melts down? Is there off-the-field issues not with Avery Johnson, but of course everything surrounding his family was made so public? Is that affecting the team? They've had a former 5-star defensive end kicked off the team. He was arrested this week. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know if it's an X's and O's thing, if it is a leadership thing from Chris Kleiman, Avery Johnson, the 5 or 6 seniors that they brought back that had NFL potential. This team is better than Army. They're better than North Dakota. They're better than what they've shown through 3 weeks. And they are doing just as much to hurt the Big 12 as anybody else. And they have to turn it around quick because they already not start, but get back into Big 12 play this week.
We're 3 games into the season for Kansas State, and I already feel like they're by far the most overrated team in the Big 12. Jake, you and I were both high on the Wildcats coming into the season.
I picked them to win the league.
Yeah, maybe we were just high in general on something because they look like a total dud right now. I picked Avery Johnson as my Big 12 Player of the Year before this season, and that's aging well about as a glass of milk here because he just wasn't great, and he hasn't been great all year long. I mean, you look at the stat line against Army, 15 for 25, 172 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. For whatever reason, he and his receivers just aren't on the same page at all. It feels like they're on different planet at times. And the other odd thing, for me at least, is their rushing attack has really been non-existent. 74 rushing yards in this game against Army. It's unacceptable. Even when the offense caught a break late in that game, which probably should have been a fumble, ended up being called an incomplete pass, they still couldn't get the job done on the second chance. Defensively, they couldn't get off the field at all. Like, Army had the ball for over 40 minutes in this game, controlled the game from start to finish. I think Kansas State gave up 10 third down attempts, and Army completed 8 passes in this game. Like, that is a classic Army game. What's concerning is the fact that, like, the same Army team lost to Tarleton State last week. We talked about this last week. They lost to Tarleton State last week, and now they come into Manhattan and beat Kansas State. And then on top of that post-game stuff, you have Chris Kleiman talking about how proud of the team he is. Like, I'm sitting here saying, dude, shut the hell up and get it fixed. Nobody on the planet right now is proud of the way this Kansas State team has played.
Kansas State was built on special teams, making winning plays on special teams, and they have the biggest joke of special teams in the entire country.
Yep.
Get this stat. We were watching this at the RV Village last night, and I think I told 20 different people this stat because I couldn't even comprehend it. Before Kansas State got the ball back with, 2:30 or 3 minutes to go, the total plays in the second half were 43-4. 43-4, which means their defense couldn't get off the field, and somehow Army turned a squib kick into an onside kick because they were able to bank it off of a K-State's defender's calf and recover the ball. Avery Johnson didn't really even have a chance to win this game because he didn't have the frickin' ball. How does K-State keep making these special teams mistakes? It's been 3 years now. There's got to be a change. There's got to be. And we've had this exact same conversation with Matt Campbell. And what's he done? Okay, maybe yesterday there was a couple mistakes. But for the most part, Iowa State has turned from a really, really bad special teams program to a pretty dang good one. And K-State is not going to get to the level that they should be until they clean some of that up. It's frankly embarrassing.
Well, I mean, the next person that's going to be getting replaced is going to be Kleiman himself if things don't change pretty soon here.
My gosh, I can't believe we're having that conversation. But
3 weeks
if you look at the turmoil amongst the fan base, I get it. I was talking to a friend of the program. I'll just leave his name out of it. But he said this is by far the worst that he and the fan base have felt since they got blown out 45-0 in Jack Trice Stadium back in 2020. Like, that was a low point for that program. And I asked this pretty respected K-State guy, does the fan base feel that they can turn it around? And the consensus is no. Nobody really sees a path, and maybe I'm just more bullish on K-State. Maybe it's me hedging because I picked them to win the league. I still think that they're the team that they are, that I thought they were coming into the season, but they got to stop making these mistakes, and their defense maybe just isn't what I thought it was. It's been bad. I'm sorry, Iowa fans. I guess you were right, even though it didn't mean much.
Yeah, and we're, 3 years removed from them winning a Big 12 title, and I just felt like nothing has went their way since then. Even kind of going back, I believe it was the Sugar Bowl that they played Alabama in that year. Just got blown out by Bryce Young. It just seems like nothing has gone their way since that moment that they won the Big 12 title back in 22.
They've got at Arizona on Friday night.
It's a winnable
Arizona,
game. Maybe.
I'm not high on them. Haven't been high on them, but they're favored by 1.5. We'll get into that in our picks later. But K-State, it is time to stop at Freedom Tire. And I don't know what needs fixing. I don't know if it's the tires.
Everything.
If it's the engine.
Yeah.
Or a little bit of everything.
Might need a new vehicle.
Maybe a lighter note. A more fun note. It's time to crack one for the Clones. Iowa State survives, winning the Cyhawk game 16-13 in a game that, I don't know, I still feel pretty good about my double-digit win projection. I felt like Iowa State was double digits better than Iowa yesterday, and Cyhawk stuff happened to make this a one-score game. But yeah, the Cyclones win. I wouldn't say it's great for the Big 12, but it was necessary for the Big 12. You could not have this loss looming, and Iowa State takes care of business. They were the better team. They are the better team, and now they're 3-0, looking like the best team in the conference, or certainly one of the top 3 best teams in the conference.
Yeah, and Jake, I mean, the good news is it is a Cyclone state once again in the great state of Iowa. Was it the best game Iowa State played? No. Was it pretty at times? Absolutely not. But in games like this, all that matters is winning, and that's what the Cyclones did on Saturday. Offensively, it wasn't great. I mean, but when this offense needed to make a play and put points on the board, they did. The run game, I think, faded down the stretch, but then you had guys step up. And, I mean, shout out to the tight ends, Benjamin Bramer and Gabe Burkle. Those two made some big plays in key moments. And I know people bitch about using the tight ends way too much, but when you have 2 freak athletes like those two, I think it would be foolish not to use them more. And, and how about the defense? You get a key turnover that led to a score in that game. And then speaking of, with the game on the line there at the end, they get the big stop to end it. So, I mean, Iowa State did make some mistakes in this one with the penalties. And, of course, that ridiculous missed call on the punt return, which still doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But if they didn't do those things, I think this game would have been more lopsided. But it didn't go that way. I always feel like when you play a team like Iowa, they drag you into the year, 1925, and Iowa State found a way to climb out of it and come back to the modern world. And, for the first time since 2011, Iowa State beats Iowa in Ames, and Matt Campbell has now beaten Iowa 3 times in the last 4 years. So hats off to him and his staff. And I think when you look at the rest of the conference, as you mentioned, it's hard not to put Iowa State near or at the very top of the conference.
That leads me into my refreshing take, presented by Carbless Premium Handcrafted Cocktails. I had a couple of these last night in the RV Village, a couple celebratory Carbless. You should go do the same as you're watching football this week. Pick up a nice pack of Carbless. The weather's going to get hotter too, so this is the type of drink that tastes better the warmer it is outside. And my refreshing take, I know it was a bad Saturday for the Big 12. And Cyclone fans, I'm talking to you. Enjoy this. Enjoy that Rocco Becht is 5-1 against your 2 biggest rivals, Kansas State and Iowa. Enjoy ending the 14-year drought of not winning this game in Ames. I get it. the Big 12 perception matters, but at the end of the day, when some of these top teams that you're expecting to compete with are struggling, it leaves the door open to maybe go and be that team. What have we talked about a lot? Who's going to be the next power in the Big 12? Who's going to be the team that you can expect to be near the top every single year? As of right now, as long as Matt Campbell is in charge, I think Iowa State has that. And if there's one positive you can take from Arizona State losing and K-State losing, it's not, oh, the Big 12 sucks, but there's no reason that Iowa State, shouldn't be at the top of the league. And that would be the silver lining that I take from a pretty disastrous day for the conference.
It was a day that started out really, really good and ended up just being kind of a shit show towards the end there. Like, you had Baylor and Iowa State winning, and then from there it just felt like things just fell apart as the day went on.
That game, I can't believe that it got as close as it did. You could just tell at the end of the second quarter when Iowa was able to put together that drive that, oh man, we're in for a vintage Cyhawk game. And I know it's been stated on Cyclone Sunday and Instant Iowa. Highly recommend checking both of those out if you haven't yet. That for so long in this game, it was always Iowa State who was making the extra mistake or Iowa making the extra play. And I said on Friday night that the reason that I thought Iowa State was going to win comfortably was because there's no one on the defensive side of the ball for Iowa that struck fear into my eyes of he's going to go make a play. They didn't have a Cooper DeJean, a Jay Higgins, a Jack Campbell, Desmond King, Josh Jackson. And I still think that's true because when that ball got tipped off of Xavier Townsend's hands yesterday and Burkle was able to go grab it, if Cooper DeJean's in the area, he's probably taking that back for a touchdown. If Desmond King's there, it's probably an interception. And that's what shifted in this game where Iowa State now has those guys that you expect to make plays in the winning moments. And that's why I couldn't be more proud to be a Cyclone fan.
Yeah, and I'm just glad that the University of Iowa is spending their money wisely at the quarterback position. I'm glad that they paid Gronowski $2 million. Worth every penny.
We'll move on. I'll plead the fifth. Baylor. What a bounce back. Following my rant against Dave Aranda in week one and their loss to Auburn, they go on the road and make it 14 in a row over SMU. SMU, a team that was in the playoff last year. This is a big win for Baylor. It's a big win for the Big 12. And the fashion they did it, they came back two separate times. They were down, I believe, 14-0 to start the game, and they were also down double digits in the second half, and they never shied away. Great day from Sawyer Robertson, Josh Cameron, Bryson Washington. Their best players looked like their best players again, and that's going to be the recipe for Baylor if they want to be at their ceiling this season.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was hard to keep up with this one during Cyhawk, but this felt like a classic Big 12 game from like 10 years ago. I mean, defense was optional, and the offenses were just running up and down the field. I mean, Sawyer Robinson put on an absolute show, 440 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, and he's a guy that I think has been playing out of his mind through the first 2 weeks. And you look at Josh Cameron and Hawkins, they had huge games at the wide receiver spot. If this offense did not show up the way they did, they would have been beat by double digits because the defense pulled another no-show.
Oh, gosh. Terrible.
When the defense needed to get a stop on that double overtime, they got one, and then the offense capitalized. But there was certainly some questionable officiating at best. But at the end of the day, Baylor got a road win against a top 25 team. And that's why Baylor is going to be my focus on my refreshing take of the week by Carbless. Obviously, the Bears have flaws defensively. They probably aren't going to stop many teams, but as long as they have Sawyer Robinson at quarterback, they're going to be in just about every game they play in. Like, through 2 games against an SEC team, an ACC team, Robertson has 7 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. Are they going to win the Big 12? Probably not.
No.
But they're going to give teams fits, and they may be a team that plays spoiler late in the year because, I think they're going to be in literally every single game because of Sawyer Robinson.
See, I disagree a little bit, and it's just because their defense is so bad.
It is bad.
I know Robertson week 1 had the stats. I didn't feel like he played a great game, and that's why they got flat out dominated by. That's not why they got flat out dominated by Auburn, but they couldn't win that game unless he had a great game. So I think with where their defense is at, it forces Robertson to have to go play an A-plus game every single night, and that's not possible for any quarterback. But
he's capable.
I agree with you that they can be spoiler. Like, if you catch them on the wrong day, and I know I think they host Utah late in the season.
Yep.
Like, if Robertson is on it, and Josh Cameron and Hawkins and in Washington,
watch out.
You're not going to find many better skill position players in this league. So if their defense can be below average, just got to be below average. Can't be terrible. If they can be below average, they're certainly going to be capable of playing spoiler in this league.
And we kind of saw that last year where this team wasn't playing too great, and then by the end of the year, October, November, I mean, they won 5 straight games, I think it was, or 6 straight games?
Yeah,
it was
six straight to end the year.
They got better as the year went on. So maybe, I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but it's very possible by the end of October, November, that's a team you don't want to play. And, hey, I don't know. I mean, Sawyer Robinson's a great player. Unfortunately, he can't play defense, too.
Yeah, and he can't be perfect either.
No.
If he could be perfect every night, they would have a chance to win the Big 12. Until I see some sort of improvement from the defense, I'm not throwing them in that category.
They could still finish top 5 or 6. I still feel okay with that in the conference.
Who's their coach again?
Dave Aranda.
Oh, I don't know.
He's not fired yet. He's back.
I don't know if I can.
A little bit cooler now.
I don't know if I can put him in my top 5. Just with that man at the helm.
Well, I had him at 4, I believe.
So back a little bit to the negative side. Kansas chokes away an opportunity against an SEC school. Had Missouri on the ropes several times and lost the game. They somehow didn't even cover, which is an abomination in itself.
Yeah.
But they lose the border war 42-31 against Missouri. And the way that I put this when I went back and rewatched it this morning, it was just the game of missed opportunities. They had some golden tickets to get out to an even bigger lead than they did in the first half, and they let Missouri creep back into the game.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Jalen Daniels because after that game, I feel like it's just more of a one-man show than anything, and that's why Kansas is going to be my Freedom Tire team that needs a fix. The last 2 games, I've said that Jalen Daniels, this is the guy that we saw a couple years ago, and while he's not perfect by any means, he literally had to do everything himself, led the team in rushing yet again, did what he could through the air with very little help. I mean, Henderson had a really bad drop there on third down that they desperately needed.
Yep.
The run game was non-existent. 3 yards on 19 carries on the ground. I mean, the receivers, again, had some drops, so it's really hard for me to put the blame on Daniels. And then to make matters worse, the defense, I mean, they could not stop Missouri at all after that first quarter. You give up over 250 yards on the ground, nearly 600 yards overall, and you allowed Missouri to convert over 50% of their third down attempts. Like, at some point, Jalen Daniels is going to need some help. I just don't know if this team is capable of doing that because we talked about before the season how many transfers that they had on the defensive side of the ball, and it's just one big question mark. And after that, I don't feel good about their defense at all.
Yeah, it's why they were a wild card team to me, because I see the ceiling with them, but I can also only think so highly of a team that I think is really shaky on the defensive side of the ball. And unfortunately, the second quarter on kind of proved that take right. I mean, that first quarter, though, you watch, and they're out to that big lead. You think they really are Big 12 contenders, and I still think they are because Daniels is really good. He could have prevented that Missouri comeback, though, by not fumbling the ball at his own 10-yard line. But you're right. This game was not on Daniels. This game was on the defense and some critical drops in very, very crucial spots. And again, that's another missed opportunity for the Big 12. I don't think this one looks bad because Missouri was favored and all that, but it's one that if you could have had it would have gone a long way for the league.
Yeah, it would have made the day feel a whole lot better if you could have at least got another win against an SEC team, but Kansas blew it. They were ahead and they were in control of that game early and just couldn't finish it.
They also had a chance to stop Missouri, fourth down, about 5 minutes left, and that would have all but put the game away, and instead they find a way to lose the game by 2 touchdowns. So not a great day to be a Jayhawk when this was kind of their opportunity to represent themselves on the big stage after a down 2024, and I'm guessing that's just going to have to wait.
Did you see the guy kicking who had a chance to win like $25,000?
I didn't see the video. I saw a tweet of this. Was there a video of it?
Yeah, there was a video. He was trying to win, I think, $25,000 to kick a field goal, and if he made it, he would have won the money. And instead, he kicked the ball at the Kansas sideline and then lifted up his shirt, and it said FKU on his chest. So the hatred of that border war is very, very deep, probably deeper than what some people originally probably thought.
Well, it goes back to like even deeper than football. So
yes.
we don't exactly need to get into all of that, but these two sides. Oh yeah, let's watch this.
Flashing the shirt.
Oh, that's
the chest. Yep.
That's clearly incredible.
Nope.
And now the kick
it right at the sideline.
Nothing but respect for that guy right there. That is
hats off to him. That was pretty funny.
Either he knew he had no shot at making that field goal for $25,000, or he let hatred take over. And either way, I respect his decision to do that. Good for you, young man.
Well worth it, I guess, in his mind. I would know. I would like the $25,000 though, but I guess the rivalry goes deeper than that.
So we've got 2 more games to close with. We're not going to hit on BYU or Utah, Texas. There's a lot of teams that took care of business.
Against cupcakes.
Yeah, against cupcakes. And yes, Stanford is a cupcake.
Yes.
One team that did not take care of business against a power from the Mid-American Conference. Not everybody just walks into Ohio Stadium, or not Ohio Stadium, wherever
Athens.
the Ohio Bobcats play. Nobody walks into Athens and walks away with a win. So certainly not a bad loss for West Virginia by any stretch of the imagination. Plenty of high-level football programs lose to the Ohio Bobcats. I think that's all. You got anything else?
I want to say I got a lot of shit for picking West Virginia last. And after this game, I feel better about where I put them. Defensively, they weren't great.
So do I. Trust me.
They weren't great defensively, but their offense is just really bad. And I know Jaheim White got hurt in this game, but even with him, like, they weren't great. Marischal wasn't good. The offensive line wasn't good. The weapons around the quarterback position aren't very good either. And you kind of see where I'm going with this. Like, the offense couldn't even stay on the field on third down. And perhaps the biggest lopsided part of this game was the time of possession. I mean, Ohio held the ball for 40 minutes in this game. I know it's year 1 under Rich Rod, and welcome back to West Virginia, Rich Rod, but a loss like this is just completely unacceptable. Maybe it's also time, as you mentioned, like, Big 12 teams probably should not go play in Athens, Ohio anymore, because I don't think anything good happens there.
See, so you're feeling vindicated for picking West Virginia last. I picked them to finish 10th, and I think I might have undercut it. The last time a Big 12 team went to Athens and lost to Ohio, that team went on to win 7 games, go to the Liberty Bowl. I think West Virginia, I might have to bump them up. They're on a good path.
Do you feel any better about where West Virginia is right now compared to, like, Rocco Beck kind of taking over back then? No.
No, I mean,
there's no way.
That's a tricky spot for a new coach, or not a new coach, but a first-year coach in a program to have to go to a MAC school, get your players woken up for it. It's not a great look for Rich Rod, but I still don't feel awful about the roster. I do think that they're the type of team, maybe like Houston from last year, that by the end of October into November is playing some good football, even if they're not the most talented roster in the world, and they're able to knock some teams off.
Or they can finish behind UCF.
They're not finishing behind UCF.
Hey, they won 68 to 0 against North Carolina A&T?
Well, they almost lost to an FCS program in week 1.
They were still figuring out their quarterback position, I'm telling you. Taven Jackson's going to be their guy.
You got to get over this affection for the Central Florida Knights.
I'll try.
We got to get let's trade Central Florida for Southern Florida.
No.
That was maybe one of the best parts of yesterday.
I refuse to acknowledge any team that doesn't play in their own stadium.
Well, do you know that their coach is probably listening right now?
I know. I'm not going to pretend.
Gotta be careful, man.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend to care about South Florida football.
My gosh.
Nobody pays attention to South Florida football.
So
people in the state of Florida don't even pay attention to South Florida
Alex
football.
Golish is a fan of our program, and all you're doing is... This is unbelievable.
If Nick Saban
you're just saying, you don't care about his program. Coach Golish, this man from Texas does not speak for the rest of us. Congratulations on your win over the Florida Gators.
Is Florida even real at this point? Like Billy Napier, is he?
Do you know how hard it is to beat Billy Napier, Derek?
Well, yeah.
Plenty of great teams have lost to Billy Napier.
And I'm so glad that people put Florida in their top 15 in the preseason. How's that looking? How's that working out for everybody?
No, you're right. I was actually, all jokes aside, when I saw that Arizona State dropped out of the AP poll, I was about to be so mad when I was going to click on it and see Florida still ranked. But I was glad to see that Florida wasn't ranked. So, not a double standard. If Arizona State dropped out, Florida also deserved it. Mike Gundy.
Ooh.
69-3. And that is my analysis of that game. They look like a team with a coach that is not built for this era and is a dead man walking, and I would be shocked. I would be shocked if he's coaching once basketball season starts.
Jake, you had a hot take about Mike Gundy coming into the season. I believe it was just last year in general, and I'm starting to think that take may not be so hot anymore because what I have seen from Oklahoma State since the start of last season has been piss poor. Mike Gundy talking shit this week in the press conferences, and then Oregon and Dan Lanning delivered just a knockout blow. I know the Cowboys were down their starting quarterback with Henry out, and Zane Flores wasn't going to beat Oregon on the road, but damn, I thought they would at least put up somewhat of a fight, and instead they just got absolutely destroyed. I mean, the offense didn't even score a touchdown. The defense looked like a junior high defense playing a college offense, give up over 600 yards of offense, nearly 70 points. And by the way, Oregon took their foot off the gas, or else they probably could have scored 100 in this game. So Oklahoma State couldn't stop the run, pass, or the guy even selling popcorn in the stands. I mean, absolutely pathetic effort all the way around from Oklahoma State. I think Mike Gundy, at this point, and there's going to be a lot of stuff said about him this week, he needs to look in the mirror and decide if he wants to keep doing this or not, because the longer that this goes on, the harder it's going to be for the next guy to fix. And this program has no life to it right now. And I feel like the Gundy era is coming to an end sooner rather than later.
What are you doing Monday? Are you working? Are you normal day?
Yeah.
Let your employer know you got to be on call for an emergency podcast, because it would not shock me at all if Mike Gundy, if this thing ended tomorrow, as in Monday. I don't think that's going to happen, but would it be the most surprising thing if this is already going to happen, you want to get ahead of it? You want to be the first one that's looking for a new coach? Like, this isn't getting turned around. No. It's just not. I don't see any way this gets turned around. Why not just pull the Band-Aid off tomorrow before this gets worse?
Yeah, thing is, he just has so much control of what he does over there. I just think eventually he'll probably try to turn things around. I don't see him just quitting. I don't see Oklahoma State firing him mid-season because I think they just have more respect for him than that. But it's just everything for that program has just gone the wrong way ever since that they were in the Big 12 championship game. It's kind of like Kansas State, except way worse because, Oklahoma State didn't even win a conference game last year, but just bad. And then you see his son posting on Instagram or whatever it was. I can't remember his son's name, but his older son,
Gunner.
I think Gavin. I think Gavin's the older son. He was the one kind of posting stuff, talking about, Oklahoma State wouldn't be where it is today without Mike Gundy. And that's true. Like, all of that's true. I'm not questioning that. However, every era has to come to an end at some point. Even the great Bill Snyder, he had to leave Kansas State because that program was going downhill so fast. And at some point, it's going to have to change for Oklahoma State, whether it's this year, next year, this offseason, whatever it may be. Mike Gundy's not going to be there in the next 2 years. I feel pretty confident in saying that.
Well, and when you look at like a stubborn coach, it's my way or the highway. That can work. Like it's worked for Gundy for almost 20 years now. But when it's not working, it looks a lot worse. Like you can look at Kirk Ferentz, and I know plenty of Iowa fans right now are fed up and frustrated with how Kirk has his philosophy, and that's the only way. Well, you can look at it and say for Iowa as well, still winning 8, 9, 10 games. Like they're still doing it. When you're going winless in Big 12 play, losing by almost 70 to Oregon, that's where there's no excuse for it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Do it Monday.
It's going to be a long week, and just, I don't know. I just feel like in general, it's going to be a really long season for Oklahoma State fans because, after that kind of performance, I don't know how you bounce back from that. Like, you don't even put up a fight in that game at all. They just laid down and died.
So bad. So freaking bad. Let's hop into. Do we have a Big 12 quarterback, Aiden? A random Big 12 quarterback, I should say.
We do.
All right, we're bringing it back.
Oh.
All right, let me pull up my notes on this fella here quick. All right. This former Big 12 co-offensive freshman of the year threw for over 10,000 yards over his 6-year college career that spanned 3 schools, one of which was in the Big 12.
Oh, God.
That is tough.
So
he was co-Big 12 freshman of the year, correct? Or was it co-conference? Yep. Okay. So he started his career
in the Big 12
at a Big 12 school.
And then went on to play for 2 more schools?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, boy. 10,000 passing yards?
Yep.
How many seasons you said? 5 or 6 seasons?
6.
Okay, so it's probably in the COVID era, I would assume. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Boy, that could be any bad.
But here, I'll give you this. Games played for each of his 6 seasons. 8, 13, 14, 9, 3, 3.
Oh, that almost makes it harder. I had a guess in my head for a second that made sense, and then it didn't make sense anymore.
No, it's not him.
I was trying to think who would have.
I almost wanted to say Spencer Sanders from Oklahoma State, but I don't think that's it because he only played for Oklahoma State and Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, yeah. That was who came to my mind as well.
Wait a minute.
It's not Jacob Park, is it?
Nope.
Wait a minute. I think I can think of one that played for 3 schools. Did he play last year, Aiden?
No. He hasn't played since 2022.
Crap. I was going to guess Alan Bowman. Alan Bowman played for 3 schools, and he had a pretty good freshman season before he got hurt.
That's a good guess, actually.
That would be my guess.
This guy spends his time as an offensive graduate assistant at North Texas now.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything for me.
I don't know, me either.
What if I told you he was quality control
Is it Kenny
at
Hill?
Bowling Green in 2024? It's not Kenny Hill. No.
Kenny Hill only played for A&M and TCU. Yeah, I'm going to have to throw in the towel on
Yeah,
this one.
I got nothing.
Charlie Brewer. Chuck Brewer.
That guy,
He went to
surprised-
Utah.
Yeah, he went to Baylor, Utah, and then Liberty.
Oh, I didn't know he finished off at Liberty. So
I'm not sure that he knows he finished off
did
at
he
Liberty.
get hurt
Yeah.
or was he just benched at Liberty? If
He-
he was only playing 3 games a
I
year.
think he had to retire pretty much because he had so
I
many
think he did.
concussions. He was just getting beat around. I mean, he was a tough SOB, but at some point, he just kept taking so many hits all the time. I can remember in a couple games where he was a little woozy and he was still playing.
He broke his hand in the first quarter of Liberty's season opener against Southern Miss, so I wonder if he got hurt, got beat out, and never really came back. He did play in the CFL for a couple years, though.
Aiden, when did what was his freshman season?
2017.
You know what's funny about that year? He didn't play that game, but Baylor that year started again. They played Liberty that year in their season opener. I went to that game. I actually covered that game.
More you
And
know.
that's funny. He ended his career at Liberty. Did not know
Wow.
that.
All right, we're going to do Iowa trivia in a second, but I think we got to talk about Barstool. We haven't texted about this at all. I know your opinion on it, though, based off of Twitter. I like it. Say what you want about Barstool. Say what you want about Portnoy. Say what you want about like their type of content. But what matters is that a lot of people consume it, and a lot of young people consume it and think it's cool. And if they're saying the Big 12 is cool, and if they're giving love to the Big 12, and I don't know if you watched their Barstool kickoff show yesterday.
I did.
It was better than College Game Day in my eyes. I even enjoyed it a little more than Big Noon Kickoff. I think them fully embracing the Big 12, there's going to be some lumps that come along with it, but I think in the bigger scope of things, it is a positive, and maybe a major positive.
I feel like what I've been saying on Twitter probably doesn't fully it's not the best way to describe how I feel about it. I have had a few days to kind of stew on this a little bit, but for me, this is a love it or hate it kind of move for the Big 12. Big 12 personally, I'm not a big Barstool guy. Like, I love a good, dick fart titch joke from time to time, but when I want sports content, Barstool is not the first, second, or probably even third place I look to. I think that 5 or 10 or maybe even 5 years ago, I think Barstool was a lot bigger just due to the talent that they had, and they lost a lot of their key players. But I mean, starting with the positives, I get why people would want this. I mean, it's eyeballs. The Big 12 wants attention. If you can get clicks, likes, whatever, you take it, because you're not the Big 10, you're not the SEC. The Big 12 is looked down upon from everybody else's perspective. But I don't believe now, it's been a few days since this has been announced, I don't think there's an official partnership. The Big 12 is not going to come out and say, like, hey, we're tied or married to Barstool. For the first time, I watched what's their pregame show called? I don't even know what it's called.
I think it's just called Barstool College Football Kickoff or something like that.
Very original. I watched that, and Yormark showed up, gave Portnoy some gear, and he kind of quickly exited. Like, he didn't stick around for very long. And that's what I think this will be, because I know for a fact that not every Big 12 AD is going to be willing to tie themselves to Barstool, especially the private schools. Talk about TCU, Baylor, BYU. Why? It's because they're controversial, and I mean, look at their content. It is what it is, and that's why the Big 12 doesn't want to be directly tied to that, because they don't want to be tied to people screaming, cussing, binge drinking, whatever it is. And no matter how you feel about it, it's controversial. Because when Dave goes on social media and he says something controversial, which 100% will happen, maybe on a weekly basis, maybe daily, they don't want to be tied to that, because they can say, well, if Dave says something bad, well, we're not really tied to him. We're not really partners. The Big 12 wants free pub without any true string attached, and maybe that's their way of doing this, because if that's the case, I don't mind it nearly as much, because when you saw these early reports, they were saying like, hey, it's a true partnership, when in fact, I don't think it is. And I think in the moment, having covered the Big 12 for the last 9 or 10 years, whatever it is, the work I do at Heartland, I'm a bit in shock, because I can remember specifically when I wrote something or when somebody else wrote something that the Big 12 didn't like or agree with. It wouldn't take long for an email, a text, a phone call from people who work at the Big 12 telling us they didn't like it. So I sit here and think, are they going to call Barstool too? Are they going to call Barstool as well if they don't like something that they post? No. That's why I don't think they're going to be directly tied. Maybe tweets here and there, kind of having fun back and forth on social media, but nothing official on paper. And if that's the case, I'm okay, because the Big 12 is going to take all the eyeballs they can get. So I'm more okay with it now, today, on Sunday, than I was probably on, Monday or Tuesday when this came out?
Yeah. They have a lot of bad content, don't get me wrong. Like, they have some content that is just terrible.
I think
but
that's
the end of
the problem, yeah.
At the end of the day, I know that Portnoy actually cares about college football. I mean, he cares about Michigan more than anything, but like the way he was talking in Ames yesterday, like it was better than most national guys do. I know Big Cat definitely cares about college football, or at least betting college football. Like they've got people that I think I do respect their sports opinions, but obviously that doesn't account for the entire company. And hopefully people like Nikki Smokes and Brianna Chicken Fry aren't representing the Big 12 in any way.
Just the name.
Sorry to our viewers older than 40.
That's the other thing, too. The people over like 35, 40 years old, they don't know who any of these people are.
But they won't even see it. I
don't even know half these people are.
They won't even see that stuff, and I think that's fine. I think this is more so reaching the Big 12 through Barstool, not necessarily the Big 12 getting people to Barstool.
And I really hope they don't pay Dave Portnoy. I don't think they are by any means. They might give him some free shit, but if you really think about it, it'd be like the Big 12 paying the biggest Michigan NIL donor money. And where those funds would be used, that would be a little ironic if it was just kind of going back into Michigan's program. That would be really bad. But I don't know. To me, it's just, I don't mind it as much, again, as I did a few days ago. I think it can be kind of worked out. And the Big 12, I mean, let's face it, there are not many options out there to try to get more eyeballs unless you're playing these big non-conference games every week, which it's not going to happen. So I guess any way that they can get attention, good for them.
All right, Aiden, time for the Iowa trivia question. I'm excited for this.
Right.
Need some redemption after the random Big 12 quarterback.
Yeah, you do. All right, this tractor has a very significant tie to Iowa. Can you name what the tractor is, like the title of the tractor? It's a very famous tractor, if you didn't know.
Oh, boy.
It has the name of the city it was manufactured in the title.
Is it the Fort Dodge tractor?
No.
Is it
okay?
like the Waterloo tractor or John Deere?
Getting really close. You got the city.
The John Deere Waterloo. It's on the tip of my tongue. Something Waterloo. I don't know the official title of it.
He got the
Derek?
city right. No, I have no idea.
That'd be the Waterloo Boy.
The Waterloo Boy.
Waterloo
Dang it.
Boy.
Yeah. I thought you were going to get it there for a second, Jake.
How old is that thing?
Oh, boy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
Let me see if I can find it.
I will say, Aiden did message us, Jake. I did notice this in the Kansas video there. The Missouri guy that was kicking, he had a fake leg.
What?
He had a fake leg.
All right, roll the replay.
I forgot. I meant to say something about it because I do remember seeing it up close, and I was like, "Holy crap, he's got a fake leg," and he still did that.
Like one of Tony
badass.
Soprano's Gumars? Like that type of fake leg?
For all the Sopranos fans out there, yes, that would be true. But I'm sure there's also probably half of the people out there that also have no idea what you're talking about.
Everybody should see The Sopranos. It's an American classic.
Yes, that is true.
All right, Aiden's, I believe, pulling up the replay right
yeah.
now. I got to see this again. I got to make I'm kind of on split screen right now, so I got to
see it. His right leg there.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible!
And he was gonna kick it with that leg.
Yeah, can we roll the replay, Aiden? Which leg does he kick it with?
He kicks it, I believe, with that. No, he goes the other leg.
Okay.
That was a good fake out, though. That was a pretty
so
good
he
fake out.
kicked it with his left leg, but came from
He kind of
the
like
left side of the
curved
ball.
around and
Okay.
did that. That's
We
pretty
probably
impressive.
should have seen that coming, because he wasn't aiming. If he's a lefty, he was definitely not aiming at the field goal posts.
He will be telling that story when he's 50 years old at
And
the
he
bar
should.
to his boys, and he should. Yeah, you're right.
He should.
100%.
He should go. If he's looking for a good time, he should go to Whiskey River and tell his boys about that time
That's
that
true.
he kicked a football at the Kansas football team, despite having a prosthetic leg.
Looking for a good time? Thought so. Whiskey River is just the place. We've got the booze, the food, the vibe, and the amazing rooftop patio. The only thing missing is you. Whiskey River.
Whiskey River. If you're looking for a good time, you know you can find it there. Locations in Ankeny and Ames.
We were there
We were there. I couldn't remember if that was
Sunday.
if we'd had a
after
show
recorded.
since then. But yep, we
did.
went after we recorded. Just had a great meal. Some cold beers.
Their burgers are so good.
Yeah, they are.
Their burgers are really good.
They are good. I'm kind of craving one tonight now.
Drinks are good. The service was good. The atmosphere was fantastic. Had the game on TV. Everything.
Yeah, we watched the Miami Notre Dame game there.
Pretty good one, too.
The pride of West Des Moines, Eli Raridan, had a good game for the Fighting Irish. Whiskey River is presenting our game picks for the Big 12. We picked 5 once again for this week. Colorado at Houston kicks things off on Friday night, 6:30 on ESPN. The Cougs at home are favored by 4. The over-under is 43.5.
Oh, boy. I don't know how I feel about this game. I don't trust Colorado. They played 3 quarterbacks against Delaware, and I think Staub or whatever his name is, the third string, maybe looked like the best quarterback that they had. Houston's defense really good. Connor Wegman has been okay so far. What was the over-under was set at 43.5?
Yep. That's right.
43.5. I think, I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to pick Houston to cover. I want to take that under. It's very tempting because I don't think either offense will do. You know what? I'm going to take the under. Just give me the under.
Dang it. I was going to take the under.
I'm going to take the under. The more I think about these two offenses.
Yeah, I want the under. I don't think Colorado's going to be able to move the ball a bunch. I think Houston's offense has improved. I don't know how improved it is, but if they're going to win this game, it'll be because they can run the ball with Dean Connors. They've got a really good tight end. I still need to learn how to say his name. He's on my fantasy football team. But I think this is more of a low possession game. Give me under 43.5. That same night, K-State goes out to Tucson, where they're playing the Wildcats of Arizona. Oh, man.
This is
what a spot.
This is a non-conference matchup, I believe, correct?
Is it?
I believe this one is. Houston is a conference game.
I remember we were talking about this. It gets so dang confusing. Anyways, conference game or non-conference game, it's at 8 o'clock on Fox. And as of now, Arizona is favored by 1.5 with the over-under at 54.5.
I'm going to take the Wildcats in this game. No, I can't say Wildcats because they're both Wildcats. So I'm going to take Kansas State in this game. I don't feel good about Arizona. I think we we kind of both have the same feelings about Arizona. But again, Kansas State has looked like absolute dog shit right now, so I don't really feel good about that. At some point, Kansas State's going to have to wake up and get their crap together. I'm going to take Kansas State to cover and win this game.
I'm with you. I hate writing the exact same pick, but there's no way Kansas State loses this game.
No.
Mark it down. They are not losing to Arizona. I would hop on it now. I bet by the time Friday rolls around,
Kansas State will be favored.
I bet this line flips in the favor of Kansas State. On Saturday, Oregon State goes to Lubbock for a vintage matchup. 24.5 is the spread. Whew, with the Red Raiders favored. The over-under at 60 for a 2:30 kick on Fox. This number was a lot bigger than I thought it would be when I added this to the picks.
Yeah, I like Texas Tech to win this game by a couple touchdowns, but would you say they're 24-point favorite in this game? I don't see them. I don't know if I'm willing to go that far. I'm going to take Oregon State to cover that game.
This is their chance to make a statement.
It is.
They've had a couple cupcakes. They've had their way with those cupcakes. But this is their chance. I feel like they've been flying a little bit under the radar because of who they've played. Like they had all this preseason hype. We all know how much money they spent, how many transfers they brought in, but now they've been able to maybe fly under the radar for the first 2 weeks. This is their first time on the big stage. I think they come out with a vengeance and pound Oregon State. Give me the Red Raiders minus 24.5. Do you agree?
I think it's going to be kind of a blowout either way. I just don't know if I want to go that
24,
far.
24
That's a lot of
is a
points.
lot.
That's a lot of points.
This game is fascinating because I don't think either of these teams are great. Pitt at West Virginia, one of the most heated rivalries in college football. 2:30 on ESPN. Pitt favored on the road by 4.5. The over-under is 58.5.
I'm going to hammer the under all day on this. I don't think either offense is very good.
Gosh dang it.
I don't know who's.
Why are we in
win this
agreement
game.
on so many of these games?
This game's not going to go over 55. There's no way. No way.
I'm with you. I don't have much more analysis other than, especially if Jaheim White's out, I don't really see how West Virginia scores.
No.
And I think they'll probably lose, but I don't necessarily know if it'll be a blowout. I don't want to touch either side of the spread. The under feels safe.
This is going to look a lot like a Cyhawk score.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's a good read. And then closing out the night, Utah goes to Wyoming. Ooh. Another Big 12 team on the road at a Group of 5 team. The Utes are favored by 23 on the road. The over-under at 48 for a 7 o'clock kickoff on CBS Sports.
Oh, man. I think the last time a Big 12 team played at Wyoming, it was Texas Tech. And that did not go very well. What was the spread again on that one for Utah?
23.
23. That is a lot of points, too. You know what? I like the way Utah's been playing. I should probably hammer the over on this one, but I think I'm going to just take Utah and the points. I'm going to take Utah to cover that spread.
See, I don't know if they'll cover the spread, but I don't think they're going to allow much offense out of Wyoming. No. I'm going to take the under and think that they win like a 24-3, 30-7 type game, somewhere in that range.
I could see that.
That's where I'll go. So we're in agreement on 3 of them. We're all on Houston under, K-State covering.
Yep.
And the under for the Pitt West Virginia game, and then we're going against each other for Oregon State Tech.
Yes.
You're taking Utah, and I'm taking the under. So
yep.
We'll most likely have a winner after this week. We got to start tracking them. I keep forgetting, so I'll have that for you all following week 3. But for now, this has been another episode of Bigger Than 12. I wouldn't call it fun. We had a little bit of fun, but not a ton to cheer about, unless we're talking about the Cyclones.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. I had a great week in Iowa last week. I didn't get to really talk about it much, but thank you, everybody who showed me a ton of hospitality up there, and always love going up there, and I'll be back next spring.
And when you're back, we're going to have to do a show up in Fort Dodge.
I heard about that. There's a good possibility.
It's in the works.
All right.
We'll leave it there. Thanks for tuning in to Bigger Than 12 here in the Channel Seed Studios. Be sure to like, subscribe, tell a friend, and come back next week for Bigger Than 12 on Sunday.